this is going to be caught.
Go ahead, quit, bro.
Sure about the need to go for two, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. Now, the touchdown apparently wasn't enough. They're going to go for the onside kick here. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. The risk-reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. On 1st and 10, Smith. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. Picked off by Oren Burks. And the Niners are going to get it back here just past the 35. Well, that is now his 5th interception thrown in this game. And Charles, you've got to tip your cap to this defense. I mean, they have been so
Go ahead, quit, bro.
Reading these passes, stepping in those lanes, and picking them off.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense is an excellent defense, and they've done exactly that. What do you think, partner? A season's worth of highlights in just 4 quarters? I think that's what...
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Christian McCaffrey, and he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
It's getting ugly, dog.
60. Niners get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. So he's in for his 3rd score of the game, and defense probably saying, man, we don't want to see this guy for a long time. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And would you believe it? This is caught in the end zone. And the fake extra point works to extend their lead by 2. And I guess the touchdown wasn't enough. They want the onside kick as well. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low.
It got his man complete. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawks.
Good shit, dog.
DK Metcalf, 38 yards. And the Seahawks are able to at least get 1 score back. And they use that height on the outside to get the score.
We've seen the evolution of the wide receivers. They've gotten taller and taller, but they've retained their quickness and their speed. It's a lethal combination.
Always good to have wide receivers with height. It throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete. I guess the last score wasn't enough for them. They want more. Here comes an onside kick. And the 49er hands team does its job. Purdy looking to throw on 1st down here. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Trying to get 1 more in here before the quarter breaks. Purdy now on 2nd down. That ball caught. Brandon Ayuk. Touchdown. Brandon Ayuk. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Niners are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter.
Sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
And now this is right in Kyle Shanahan's wheelhouse. He'll go for 2 here. Purdy will throw for it. It's complete, and he will not make it to the goal line as this try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. No gain on the play. And now 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
When you see those RPOs run, you need the first man to attack and be a disruptor. And on that play, he closed down fast and helped knock it away.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. Touchdown, Seahawks. DK Metcalf, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. The Seahawks offense staying put out on the field. They're going to go for 2. Here's Smith looking to throw. Rolling to his right. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers.
It's funny to me because we actually keep a football in the booth with us during games. And I notice you cradling the football. You get it tucked pretty tight with the points of pressure here. And that didn't occur on that play, did it?
Now, you saying I wouldn't have fumbled if I was down there?
You would not have fumbled. You got that thing locked in tight.
I also have really large biceps. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
That's a good piece of quarterbacking right there because he certainly felt the pressure coming. The alternative, getting sacked for the first time. He didn't like that option at all. Did a nice job saving yardage by throwing that one away.
Throwing here, Purdy. And that is incomplete.
Partner, you and I have struggled with this for years. You've got the lead. Just take care of the football and burn some of that clock. But there's something to be said for not taking your foot off the gas as well, because you can never have too big of a cushion. That one, though, falls incomplete.
Purdy on 4th down. He'll buy some time right. Open man is Ayuk, complete. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Purdy off the play fake. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just got to give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in. That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
Purdy sets up to throw again. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey from 4 yards out. And the 49ers add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Ooh, a little cruel here. They're going to go for the onside kick up big. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Smith. And Walker has it. Only 3 there on the screen at 2nd down. Throwing now is Geno. Smith and Jigba with a grab. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Smith going to move him around. Geno now to throw. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there. Desperation time for Smith on 4th down. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
And CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here. But it may be cliche, but give them credit for this. They've continued to fight and scratch and claw, and they get the touchdown here in the 4th quarter.
And I'm okay with that cliche, all right? Maybe it'll alleviate the sting a little bit, because at least they can look in the mirror and realize they fought all the way through. horrible game for them, not one they'll want to remember. At least they'll keep their heads up and have some pride when they leave the stadium.
And he will get into the end zone as the deficit moves from really bad to slightly less than really bad. And the 49er hands team does its job. There's Purdy on 1st and 10. Open man is Samuel, complete. Now he's loose again, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Well, obviously, Charles, no more points were needed, but some teams just can't resist the urge to keep adding on, and they did just that here in the fourth quarter.
And we've certainly been on the call to see many teams do exactly that over the years, Brandon. Some to even more impressive degrees. In the end, it always goes back to there's still a defense out there, and it's still a game of NFL football. So if you don't like what's happening, it's up to you to get them stopped.
That's caught at the 2. And he will not make it to the goal line as this try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. And the Seahawks looks like they've recovered. They have. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now it's Smith. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And this is caught. Well, they get one back, picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big. Well, CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about or really grasp onto in this game. They've been dominated, but at least they get a late touchdown here, something positive to put on film for tomorrow's session.
Yeah, they're still trying to execute, trying to get some positives on their board and ledger sheet and keep this from being a total loss. Give them credit. They're going down fighting.
Gino's going to throw. That's caught. And he is not going to make it to the end zone. And that's pretty reflective of their game as a whole as they'll remain down by a bundle. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the 49er hands team does its job. Nifty move. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. A 2nd down throw for Purdy. The 20. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. DJ Dallas to return it from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
All day, just like that. Just like that.
Smith. This is Fant on the short completion. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
This 2nd and 4.
Throwing again is Smith.
That'll be caught by Bobo.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
Well, that frustration, Charles, it's been building on the defensive side of the ball, and unfortunately there, it turns into a roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, and they should be frustrated because he's picked them apart the entire game, but it's got to come out in a different way. You can't hit him illegally. Stop him downfield the way you're supposed to.
Smith on first down. To the right side, incomplete to Metcalf. And out of bounds right around the 20. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. 13 next. 13 next. 54. And we heavy on the edges. Heavy on the edges. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates. Mike 54. There we go. 2 set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Coming, baby. I'm coming, baby. Woo! 2 set. Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 54 Mike.
Smith throwing again. Flush to his right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Here now, a 3rd down and 8.
Hey, on turbo. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Too low. Mike 54. Mike 54. Mike 54. Watch the flag. 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 Flag. Go. Hey, watch that. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. No ball.
Back to throw, Smith.
Targeting the out route, and he completes this to Metcalf.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. From the red zone now, Smith. Forced out to his left. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on first down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid game to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing
On second down, here's Smith. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. It's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive.
Well, they don't need to score here, that's for sure. They could just kneel it. They've got the huge lead late fourth quarter, but we'll see how they're feeling, Charles.
Yeah, we all know people out there who like to use every second of the clock, no matter what the score. And we know they don't need the points. They've scored in abundance already. Let's find out how they want to finish this ball game.
Purdy's throw pulled in by Kittle.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down.
Well, there's absolutely been no stopping this offense today. They already have the big lead, obviously. Here in the fourth quarter, they could coast to the end, but right now they're not passing up any chances to put up some garbage time yardage.
And, partner, why would they? Because who knows the next time you'll be playing as well as you have today. When you're in that zone, you go ahead and take full advantage of it. You don't worry about your opponent. You just worry about what you're doing.
That one looks like he'll throw here. That's going to be caught by Samuel. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
So here's a 3rd and 14. Purdy will look to throw again here.
They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping.
Man, I told you to quit a long time ago, bro.